So this is something I'm working on. It's just got the news tonight that Wes Craven passed, and it's one of my heroes in horror, and someone who I always wanted a chance to meet, and unfortunately never did. So anyway, this is just kind of I guess documenting this while I do it. Wes Craven was the work that he did, his movies and his storytelling, um, actually meant a lot to me. There were things about Nightmare on Elm Street, in particular, that just I don't know, something about it resonated with me, and there were ideas and things that were embedded in it that some would say maybe I pull a little too much from it, or maybe I read more into it than was really there. Whatever. I mean, if I did, so be it. And if not, if I'm right on what he intended, then that's cool too. Either way, it was there for me, and sometimes that's all that really matters. So anyway, yeah, there was a large portion of my younger years that Wes Craven's work, and beyond Nightmare on Elm Street too. I mean, there was like just so much other stuff that he did, but Nightmare really was the thing that got me, and it 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 turned me on to horror. I mean, I had already had an interest in horror, or probably never would have watched the stuff as a kid, but Wes Craven's stuff just sort of, I don't know, Nightmare on Elm Street, something about the idea of dreams, and the way there was kind of these different, I don't know, it was almost like there was a different world to it. And I always liked the idea, like in the second movie, seeing the third movie, sorry, where the kids are using the things that they wish they were to make themselves stronger in their dreams. And I think that's such a powerful concept that for a lot of people, just it's a slasher flick, it's blood and gore. Well, Freddy was a concept that was way beyond, in my opinion, your average slasher. And for a lot of people, maybe that's all it was, but that's fine. That's fine. For me, I really picked up on these concepts that seemed embedded in there, and it encouraged me to explore these ideas. And as a young kid, writing and drawing, and then getting older and really embracing writing and drawing and doing art for a living and all that, whether it was with animation or with comics, or just any of the stuff that I've been involved in. Wes Craven's probably one of the biggest influences on me out of film. It's like I could probably break down my influences really being from like film and comics being the primary things. And if I go to film, there's George Lucas, and there's a handful of other folks, but thinking back on it, Wes Craven was right up there with George Lucas for me. Lucas showed me fantasy and science fiction, and gave us Star Wars, and gave us a lot of really interesting, again, really deep ideas there that I think are lost on maybe some folks. And in a way, with Nightmare on Elm Street, to me, Wes Craven did with horror in Nightmare on Elm Street what George Lucas did with science fiction in Star Wars. He showed us ideas, and there was some real philosophical stuff embedded in Nightmare on Elm Street that is just profound. So, and it really hit me. I mean, it was, he kind of, he made horror. It was like, a horror director with the heart of a poet. And what came out of that was something that, some of the later movies, got really bad. And for whatever reason, I think there's some marketing and some studio schlock that made its way in that kind of corrupted it. But even in the end, with Wes Craven's New Nightmare, it it just, he managed to return with that one to this idea of these layers and worlds within worlds, and how things we think and feel affect our reality, and it's just some really cool stuff. So anyway, hearing tonight that I guess along with the rest of the world that Wes Craven's gone, I just I thought I would start. I don't know. I wrote some stuff on our website, and then just felt like I haven't drawn. I used to draw Freddy Krueger when I was in school, like 6th grade, 7th grade, and I haven't drawn Freddy in so long that I just thought, what? Maybe it's time for me to visit Freddy again, just to say, so long to Mr. Craven. So anyway, obviously I'm just kind of talking while I do this, and it's not probably not going to have the finished version of it on this video, but I'll post it when it's done, and hopefully I don't know, hopefully it means as much to some of our some of the folks who might watch or listen to this stuff as it does to me. But this is really for me, and I just thought I'd share it because it's something really important. I in a way, it's like I grew up with kind of a weird situation. I think everybody has a weird situation growing up, so that's not a big deal. But for me and mine, a lot of times these characters, and more importantly their creators, were kind of stand-ins. They can become stand-ins in a way for pieces of family that you might feel like you don't have, or that you might be missing, and or I mean, and for some it's just straight up escapism, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's the presence these characters had in my life. They were, a lot of times they were friends. They were things that that I interacted with, that I thought about a lot, that I as a little kid played with, and I mean, I do artwork for a living because of all of these things, and because of people like Wes Craven. So yeah, this is just really just a piece of artwork, from a fan, just saying, we're gonna miss you. So anyway, yeah, I'll come back with the finished piece from this when it's done, and we'll share that. And, so anyway, yeah, if if you're as big a Nightmare on Elm Street fan, a Wes Craven fan as I was, if you're really into his stuff, and this hits you like it did me, share something, say something, share some kind words, share a memory about the movies and stuff. Just pop something in here, because I don't know, it just seems like a good thing to do. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm not going to drop the usual spiel at the end of this, because this is really about him. So yeah, I'll be back later, hopefully with the finished piece, maybe tonight or tomorrow. So anyway, till then, God bless you, Wes, and you'll be missed.